Hey guys, I'm so excited to be sharing with you the very first episode of the Career Breakthrough series. I'm your host, Paul Ames, and today, guys, as our very first guest, we've got an amazing guy called Todd Pierce. Now, Todd is the co-founder of an incredible new app called iRecruit, together with his business partner, Alexander Svetsky. Now, if you ever found yourself sick of applying for job after job and getting no results or never getting an interview, or if you found yourself tweaking your resume time after time after time, or sending it away and spending countless dollars on it, well, guys, that's not going to be anymore, as iRecruit is redefining and revolutionising the way the recruitment, HR, and job search industries all work. So basically, iRecruit works like this. You download the app, and from here, you create your fully customised profile, which analyses your personality profile and allows you to enter your details like your work history, or basically what you really want out of your job, for your salary, your work conditions, etc. From here, using that algorithm that they've got on there, it allows you to get customized jobs specifically fitting your profile coming straight to you without having to put in all the legwork and looking on sites like Seek and Indeed. Now, Todd has a wealth of knowledge and experience to be able to share with you guys, and I can't wait to get started, so let's go and head into the interview. Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of the Career Breakthrough series. I've got a special guest on today. It's my mate Todd Pierce, who's just started iRecruit. It's an amazing new app which is basically going to revolutionise how the HR, recruitment and job search industries are done. So Todd, if you'd just like to start off by just introducing yourself and basically what your business does and what you're hoping to achieve and impact in the world.
Yeah, cool. So my name's Todd, as you already heard, and my business is iRecruit. And I guess what we've kind of made is my background is I've been around business for quite a while now and had a range of different companies. And one of my biggest banes of my existence has been hiring staff, funny enough. And I guess when my business partner Alex and I got together, we had that shared kind of pain, myself from sales and marketing doing stuff like that, him from doing sales and marketing or hospitality kind of work. And I guess the issue was that, when it comes to finding staff, it's always quite painful. And, I know at the same time, when it comes to finding a job, it's also quite painful as well. So I guess our original intention was to really make our own lives much easier. We wanted to solve our own pain. And what we kind of got together and started building was a platform that could essentially match us with the right kind of people. Because what happens is when you're hiring, you get inundated by application after application. And the problem with that is that you become desensitized. I mean, like, I still remember when we opened up an office down in Adelaide and we had about 482 people apply for one role. And I remember I got through about 30 people and that was it. I literally couldn't even attend to all the other people that applied. Wow. And it kind of got me thinking back then that, like, what if there was an absolute superstar in all those people that I didn't even get to, which is a big problem. So I guess fast forward to today, and what we've kind of built is we've built a platform that is a matching platform. Yep. And I guess what's really unique and powerful about it is, and what we're so excited about is that it doesn't just match based on what you can do in regards to like your skills and your capabilities and stuff like that. It also matches based on who you are. So your personality, the way you think. So I guess in regards to an employer, what it means for us is it means that we can get good quality hires with people that match our skills that we require, but also the kind of culture that we have. And at the same time, if you're a job seeker, what it means for you is that you get in and you actually get matched to jobs that match what you want to do, what you can do, and also who you are, which is really exciting.
That's awesome, man. And I just want to share with you guys, when I first got connected with Todd and with Alex, I was on the phone for Alex for an hour discussing everything that was going on and how fucking awesome this program is and how awesome this app is you guys are creating. There's nothing like it and you're going to totally dominate. And it's awesome to see, with our sort of generation, that we're trying to make things better and improve on the standard things that just aren't working anymore. Like, from me working with a lot of my clients, the biggest thing I try and tell them is don't hit up sites like Seek and Indeed and stuff like that, because you're competing with thousands of other people for a job. And it's basically just a needle in a haystack. It's a bit of a backwards way of doing things at the moment. So when I heard about what you guys are doing, I was just so excited coming from the career perspective. So massive congrats to you guys, man, and I love what you're doing. So Todd, I just want to get a bit of a background and basically on your upbringing. Did you have like an entrepreneurial background, or, what were some of the careers that you did before you started iRecruit? I know you've been an entrepreneur for a while with other businesses, but what were some of the careers that you've done in the past beforehand?
Just get my jacket off, mate.
Grilling you with the questions.
Mate, yeah, well, I guess for me, yeah, I've been in business for quite a while. I've never really been the kind of person to be able to hold down a job. I've been, I don't know, in and out of everything, really. Yeah. But I guess we'll start from the start. I remember you asking me to kind of give a bit of the background, the good, bad, the ugly, and all that kind of stuff. I guess for me, growing up, I was, quite the rebellious, troublesome kind of kid. Yeah. And I got myself in a load of different trouble. I mean, I was hanging around with the wrong kind of people. I was involved with all the wrong scenes. Yeah. And without going into massive detail, I guess I kind of landed myself in a massive hole. Okay. And I guess I had a couple of defining moments growing up in between about, probably from 13 to about 18. Yep. And I guess, when you're absolute low and you've got nobody there to help you and nobody really give you guidance, it's when you start to really learn about yourself. Yep. And I guess what I learned when I was in my pits is that, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you've done, what you think you are, what you've been told you are, anything like that, you're infinitely more, you're infinitely better. Definitely. And if you've got the right, skills or the ways of thinking and the way of doing things, you can really transform your life. Yep. And when I kind of started clawing my way back when I was about 18 years old, it was only then that I really started even learning. At the end of the day, learning is something that's massively influenced and changed my life. It says one of the questions you asked me was, what influences you? Yep. And it's quite interesting because in school, I didn't pay attention. Yep. I kind of went through school, went to year 10, and then I left. Couldn't wait to get out of there. And I find it quite funny how there's been a shift in energy now because today, I love learning new things. I love anything I get my teeth into to improve myself and improve how I think and do things I do, which is quite a shift to how I was when I was, 16, 15, 14, 17. So one of the biggest things for me was that when I was 18, I developed a massive love for learning. Yep. That was my replacement for all the other things that I was doing back then. And as a result, I became passionate about growing. Awesome. From about 18 to 20, I did a range of different things. I worked with my old man on his trucks, and that wasn't for me. I went and became a personal trainer because, well, that's a cool thing to do. Yeah. And being honest, it was a great experience because it was like dipping my toes into business. For sure. And what I learned very quickly is that there's some good places you can go work and do PT, and some places that don't really promote growth or anything like that. So I guess I kind of did that for a while and grew discontent. I grew a bit over it. It's quite funny because I would have been 20 years old at that stage, and I had my mate. He kept calling me up and he kept saying, "Todd, mate, you got to come. You love talking. You're freaking charming. You're charismatic. Come and do door-to-door sales." Yep. I was like, nah. I'm not one of those kind of people. Anyway, I said, nah, mate, I'm happy earning my $800 a week at Ingham's. That's me. I'm done. I'm set. Because I went from earning no money as a PT because I signed a bad contract to earning $800 a week, which I thought, wow, this is sensational. Right? Exactly. And he kept bugging me. They say, if you persist, you succeed. And he's bugging me. And I finally... It's quite funny because, and you'll know this too in regards to the kind of work you do, as we start to get tired of being somewhere, we start to self-sabotage. Yeah, and it's quite funny because I was in a role and I was working, but then I started rocking up late. Yeah. I started rocking up late, or I'd go on really long breaks to the toilet, and sleep in the toilet, or sleep in the and then go back and work. And eventually it's quite funny because I rocked up, I think about 4 hours late one day, and you got to do it right. Yeah. And I looked at about 4 hours late, and I walked into the main thing at Ingham's, which is in Murray in Brisbane. And I remember walking through the door thinking, I'm going to quit today. I've had enough. I'm going to quit. Yep. And as I walked through, I heard this, "Mr. Pierce, can you come here for a second?" And I was the boss. Yeah. And he came to his office and he goes, "Look, Todd, do you have anything you want to talk to me about?" And I'm like, I've been thinking. He goes, "Well, so have we. We're thinking maybe, this role is not right for you." And I looked, I go, I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Nice.
And I ended up leaving there, and because it's quite funny. I play guitar, I sing, I songwrite, and that kind of stuff. I'm quite creative, and working in that kind of setting where you're literally on a factory line, and it's just the same thing for 8 hours straight, drove me nuts. And I actually left there when I was 20 and started doing door-to-door sales.
Yep. Oh, nice.
That was quite interesting because I didn't really know much about personal growth and development or anything like that back then. It was because I got into sales that, the whole thing about positive mindset and, your Anthony Robbins and all that kind of stuff kind of was brought into my, I guess, realm of experience. Yep. And what I started doing is I started, finding out about NLP, cognitive behavioral psych, neuroscience, all this kind of stuff. And I loved it. So at that stage there, that's when I started to get heavily involved with all that kind of learning. And I think about a year or so later, I started doing coaching, training, therapy. I was working with people with depression, anxiety, addictions. Gosh, I worked with people with PTSD, a range of stuff. And it was quite funny because I never went looking for those people.
Yep.
They just found me, which is fine because I like working with them. But I guess, from back then through to doing the coaching, training, therapy, I then kind of stopped doing the door-to-door sales. And the guy that used to hire me doing door-to-door sales knocked on my door one day after I just finished with the coaching client. And he asked me if I'd like to open a sales and marketing company.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I was working, 5 hours a week, I think I was working.
Yep.
It was enough. I was charging enough. But he knocked on my door and I'm like, why not? And literally at that stage there, I started the next journey for me, which was having my own company, own staff, and essentially having my own business, proper business. And it was quite funny because, a lot of people think to themselves, oh, when will I start? When will I start my own business? I don't have enough. No one, I can't do it myself or anything like that. It's quite funny is that, we need to take on this attitude of I'm just going to do it and I'll learn as I go. Because when he rocked up on my door, we literally started underneath my house.
Oh,
I was living with my dad back then, and we had this like 2-story kind of house, oldish kind of looking house. And I used to have sales meetings with like 5, 6 to 10 people underneath my dad's house on plastic chairs, on a plastic damn desk with a whiteboard there talking about their goals for the day.
Sweet.
And they used to get up top.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was it for me. And, we ended up growing that. We ended up having locations in Cairns, Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide. And it was really, really exciting. But, you fast forward all the way now to today and, all that kind of stuff's closed down. And then my focus is iRecruit. And it's funny because when you're doing sales, you are recruiting full time.
Definitely.
And what I learned during that experience, and I didn't come from HR or recruitment. I came from just hiring, and I thought to myself, this doesn't work. I hated it.
Yeah.
Because, you'd do an ad and you'd get all these people that this aren't right. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we have the right people in front of me right now? Definitely. And we looked at it in the market and there's nothing like it. So that kind of puts us where we are today, where I guess we've made something that I guess the ultimate outcome of our recruit is to make, a job seeker's life infinitely more easy.
That's
and
brilliant.
Also the employer's job infinitely easier. So that's where we are today.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much for sharing your journey. And I can relate completely to that. I was the same. What sparked my interest with my career and my business is pretty much high school. Same, was a bit of a delinquent, didn't pay attention, mainly because I didn't have any direction in my career or what I was going to do going ahead. Just, didn't really try at school. Finished year 12, still with no clue, and worked and job hopped all through my 20s up until I hit 30. And then suddenly I just went, fuck, I need to sort my life out. I need to figure out what I'm going to do because I'm sick of this. Basically found an ad for a diploma of counselling, which is so far out from every other job I've done, been like a baker, worked in the mines, you name it, I've done it. Saw this and just went, I'm going to give it a crack. I've always helped mates in the past with their problems and stuff like that and loved it. And did it, nailed all my interviews, nailed all my practical assessments and all that stuff, and decided that my main focus was on careers and stopping other people going through the shit that I went through. So that's pretty much similar. I can relate to a lot of your story, what you said. So yeah, it just sparks that passion and drive in wanting to change and stop others going through what you went through. So thanks for sharing, mate. So yeah, just wanted to know, what are some of the biggest mental roadblocks or obstacles that you've had to work through, whether that be in your career or in your business? And, what's some of the limiting beliefs or bullshit that you've been feeding yourself that you've had to work through, and how have you done it?
Oh, God. Starting from the start, I'll start with, in regards to mental blocks for my career, I guess the big ones for me, or the more so the obstacles, I'd say, because I've always been I've always been quite stubborn-headed persistence. But for me, my obstacles were, I'm a great communicator.
Yep.
But for me, what was a massive block for me when I started business is that I had no freaking idea how to do business.
Yep.
I mean, I had business skills, I had no business acumen, I had no accounting knowledge, I knew nothing. I knew how to sell. I knew how to go out there and get the deals done and make the money, but I had no idea how to do anything else.
Yep.
So it was a massive shock to my system to, come tax time and they're like, where's all this money? And you're like, or like, someone says, hey, where's my super? You're like, what?
Yeah.
So, it was honestly, it was a massive learning. And it was quite funny because when we started my sales and marketing company, my business partner and I back then, we were both as hopeless as each other. And he knew nothing about this stuff. I knew nothing about this stuff, but thankfully we ended up hiring his mum, who had very good skills with accounting and everything like that. Nice. So she managed to save us. But that was a big learning, a big block too, because I remember something quite funny. We went out and we ended up getting some really good deals and grew a big team. I remember it was probably 8 to 12 weeks. We turned over about 300, 400,000. For me, that's fucking massive.
Yeah, man.
Like when you go from what I've had growing up, which is nothing, and then you earn that kind of money, it's like, whoa. But it was absolutely, in regards to blocks, it was absolutely scary when one of our contracts said, well, we want you to pay us back $220,000. Yeah. And, that was a massive shock because we had people that worked for us. We had to pay them. We had no money to pay anything back. And it was just like, fuck. I mean, that was probably one of the first big hits I've had in business. Yep. We had to pay all that money back. And, reflecting, you only are cursed to repeat something unless you learn from it.
Definitely.
And what we learn from that is that you need systems and processes in place.
Yep.
Because the reason why we ended up getting clawed back all that money is because we didn't have the systems and processes in place to ensure that everything went smoothly.
Exactly.
So that was a massive hit. And I guess the mental effect of that was, fuck, how do we pay this back? How do we pay for anything? What do we do? And I guess the way that we came back from that is we did what salespeople do, is went and kept selling. Yep. So we ended up just, attacking it head on. You don't run from your problems, just went head on. But we want to pay it back. We want to sort it out. How can we make it work so that we can keep getting a bit of income and also pay that back as well? So essentially the only solution we had was to increase our volume. So we ended up having to pump even more sales through to get over that speed bump and keep pushing forward. But that was probably the first one. And we got past that, we paid it all back, and we kept going. And at that point, we kind of moved out of underneath my dad's house. Yep. And we ended up getting into lots. And it was quite funny because we then acquired more contracts and everything like that. We expanded the team. We had national presence and all that kind of thing. And then we hit a similar but different block. And this one came from not reading contracts properly.
Yep.
And we got done again, and this time we got done for I can't remember how much it was. It was definitely in the six figures. It was like 100,000 or maybe 200,000, something like that. And yeah, once again, it was that same kind of that feeling when you're like, shit, this is not a small bit of money.
Yeah.
And the feeling, and this is a mental block, the feeling of being so helpless. Yeah. Because I literally could do nothing. I had no legal grounds to stand on. I had no grounds to stand on at all. And I couldn't essentially legally do anything to go and, make, I guess, a different outcome to what they were saying. So we ended up having to kind of battle through that as well, once again, by increasing the volume and negotiating, I guess, a best alternative to just paying in back cash. Definitely. So that was probably another one in regards to financial. And then I guess, the next kind of blocks that you hit is like, as you start getting involved in your career and your business and everything like that, it's really easy to get overly focused. And as a result, your relationships start to, I guess, come into play.
Definitely.
And, your personal relationships, your family relationships, your friends, your loved ones, and all that kind of stuff. And it's really easy to stop giving them the attention that they need. And then as a result, you've got stress coming in from outside, but then you've got stress coming in from your home life as well. Exactly. So I kind of like going through that kind of turmoil as well.
I can relate, man. Yeah, I've can completely relate to that, and had to recently step back and basically block out different patches of my time for what I'm going to do to focus on to ensure that you get that adequate space. So yeah, that's a brilliant bit of advice, man.
But and you know, the next question you kind of said was, you know, what do you learn from it? You know, as I reflect on all the, you know, you wouldn't appreciate the sunlight if we didn't have the darkness.
Exactly.
At the same time, you wouldn't appreciate how nice it could be just to relax in the dark if we didn't have the sun. You don't appreciate the good things until you get the bad things. Definitely. And people forget that. Exactly. And like, I guess for me, when I kind of went through those downs, what I learned about myself was a lot. Like I learned that I have a massive resilience in me and a high tolerance to risk, which gets me in trouble all the time, but also to pressure. And being able to support a lot of people all around me. That was a big thing. So I had probably, I think we had like 30 people in Brisbane that were out on the ground doing stuff. So it was not a more than people, but, you know, and they all had families. And, you know, that's the kind of thing that we're thinking about. It's like, it's not just me. It's all the people that work for me. It's them, their family, their relationships, and I need to make this right for them. Exactly. So, you know, what I learned from that is that, you know what, sometimes you just can't give up. You just got to keep moving forward. The second time I learned that you need to read your contracts. So even though it's so damn boring, and you just like go over, you're like, oh my God. You read them. If you don't want to read them, give it to somebody that loves details. I'm a high-level person. I'm quite visual. Give it to someone that loves details and let them go over it for you. Because what you don't want is to, you know, get something wrong done by you, and then you go and say, hey, that's not right. And they say, well, it's in your contract.
Yeah, and you're screwed then. Yep.
The last thing is in regards to that balance. Honestly, it's a tricky thing. And the balance thing is so subjective because, like, who is anybody to say that you're not being balanced? Yep. The only one that can know that you're not being balanced is you.
Exactly.
And you have to recognize if there is an imbalance, like, and you will feel it because you feel it from home or you'll feel it at work, or, you know, you just feel pressure coming from everywhere. So you just have to, I guess, recognize where it's at and then remember what's important to you.
Yep, definitely, man. Brilliant answer. I loved it. That's great advice. So the next question is, what are you most excited about with your business or where you're currently at now? What's the biggest thing that's really pushing you forward and you're excited to bring to, you know, the career world or the job search and recruitment industry?
Yeah. Well, I guess you've probably already noticed when I was a bit younger, my life's pretty fucked growing up and kind of went through a lot of shit. And as a result, I became massively passionate about helping people. I just love it. You know, it makes me, and you know, there's a certain feeling you get when you help somebody with absolutely no intention or expectation of return. It just feels so good. And I guess for me, what excites me so much right now is that we are building something that, like, in my core, I just know that this is going to positively impact and help so many people. Like, if you think about it, finding work or getting staff is the cornerstone of our economy. If we had no people working and available, there would be a collapse. Yep. So effectively, to be able to actually have a job that you love, that you enjoy, that you get in there and it's right for you, that means that you're going to be happy. You're not going to be stressed. You're going to enjoy yourself, which means that you work harder, you've got better productivity. And that then means for the employer that their profits go up as well. So I guess, you know, for me, being able to build something that can facilitate that makes me really excited because, you know, there's so many people that there's a lot of people in jobs that they don't like. That's a common people, you know, I'm just working because I'm working, right? Yep. We've got people that are just working because my dad said I need to do a 9-to-5 job. And it's quite funny because my dad said the same thing. I remember when I started getting into business, you know, your parents, they love you. But my dad was like so skeptical. He's like, you know, he's a truck driver. He's always been a truckie. My granddad was a truck driver. And it's going to be about this son, mate. So there we go. It's a little bit better. They were all truck drivers and stuff like that. And for them, you go to work, you work the hours, you go home, and that's it.
Exactly.
For them to kind of see, I guess, me doing something that had absolutely no income at all, that was a massive shock. And he would be like, you got no money, you know, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. And I guess to be able to actually find yourself in a role that you enjoy and you love is something massively empowering. And I guess what excites me about iRecruit is that it's got the unique ability to be able to put you in front of positions that you never would have even come across before. Because, you jump on a job site, what you've got is you've got information overload. There's like so many different jobs and opportunities, things, and you chuck in your category and then your subcategory, and you got this, and you click and you read it, and oh Jesus, that employee there's put bold caps. I don't know why they did that. and literally, there's so much stuff happening.
Yep.
And with our recruit, we literally made it so that you see what you want. So you set your setting, you define what you want, and then the platform delivers it straight to you. Yep. The exact same time, if you're an employer, you define what you want and who you want. So it's moving beyond just job requirements. It's now looking at who's the right candidate for you. Yep. What's their positive traits? What's their nature like? What's their strengths? What's their weaknesses? And a big challenge for us when we were building it was, how can we take this and make it so simple that a 14-year-old could define their ideal candidate for their lemonade store?
Yeah.
And that was the hardest part. But essentially we did it, so that was quite exciting.
Oh man, I think this is why I feel in such alignment with you guys. As I said, why I was on the phone to Alex for an hour, because I've come from exactly the same things. It's so thrilling and amazing to watch people from the clients who've been so confused and frustrated that I've worked with, to actually see them, passionate, and you hear that change in their voice and their whole persona just changes when you get them into a career they love. And that's why I love what you guys are doing. And that's why I'm so excited to be interviewing you guys, because you've got so much knowledge and wealth to share with my audience. So yeah, man, that's kudos to that. That's awesome. So just moving on from there, man. So what are 3 to 5 actionable tips do you think that my audience could take away to help them improve their career, to either help them, get those pay rises or promotions, or to help them find a career they really love? What's something or 3 to 5 tips you think you could give, or from what you've learned or from stuff that you think would really help them out?
Yeah. So I'm just going to move over here. So here we go.
That's better.
Okay, so that question again. So 3 to 5 actionable tips for your listeners.
Yeah.
So I thought about this question when you sent it, and I got down to 3 things that I think are like master tips, I'd call them, because I think these are applicable everywhere.
Yep.
So the first one I think is clarity. Yep. I think clarity is massively powerful. So I think it's really important, because whether, it's something you want to do in work, or whether it's something you want to do in your career, whether it's something you want to do in your, health and fitness, your relationships, anything in life, getting clarity is massively important, because as soon as you get clear on what you want, literally it opens up your focus. A lot of people, we kind of flounder through life because we have no clarity. We just keep doing what we're doing because it's what we've done, or it's what our parents do, or it's what our friends do. So we do what they do because we don't know any better. We just don't know what we want to do. Yeah. So I guess what I wrote down when you sent me that question is, I wrote down, getting clear on what we want really opens up the door to everything. So it's like, the questions that I like to ask people is, what do you like doing? Yep. What do I like doing? What excites me? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What kind of things do I want to have in life? Where do I want to be? Who do I want to be with? All these questions let you get clear. And a lot of people, we get so caught up in life that, the day-to-day happenings, that we don't give ourselves the time just to get focused and clear on what we want. Exactly. So I'd say the first actionable tip is, whether you want to get a pay rise or a promotion or switching careers or starting a business, is get clear.
Yep.
What do you like doing? What do you want to be? What impact do you want to make? Why is it important to you? Why do you want to do this? What's this going to give you 5 years from now? Exactly. Getting that kind of clarity really it sets the stage. It's like the foundation.
Exactly.
And I think the second tip that comes from that is, once you've got that foundation, you've now got scope in regards to what you should focus on, because, at the end of the day, we've only got so much mental energy in a day. Once it's gone, we feel fatigued, we feel tired, we're ready to go to sleep. So the power of clarity then opens up the next power, which is focus. So when you're clear on what you want, you can now begin to let come into your focus the things you need to actually make it happen. So, if you're in a entry-level position and there's a job opening up that's a step up, or, there's a promotion, or there's an opportunity somewhere else, if you're clear on what you want, you can now start to focus on what you need to do to actually make it happen. So whether you need to learn new skills, whether you need to go and, do some courses, whether you need to, even go buy new clothes, you've got a job interview.
Yep.
And I'm serious. Like, I was interviewing, 30, 40, 50 people a week sometimes. And I'd be surprised by the kind of people that would come through, rocking up to an interview in a professional role, and you're dressed in buttons. Please. I love you as a person, but you must remember your social media. You must represent that which you're trying to achieve. Yep. If you want to have a professional role, you must be professional yourself.
Exactly.
You don't have to be professional in the past to go for something professional. It starts now. If you want to start being something that you're currently not, just do it. Yep. And everything else must be a reflection. And that comes with that focus. I know there's a role that I want. I've seen it. I've applied for it. Whatever. I've gone for an interview and there's 2 more stages. What can I do to increase my chances of achieving this goal? That's the focus. And that focus comes from the clarity. So 2 steps. Yep. And I think the last one is probably the most powerful. And the last one can be wasted without the first 2. And the last one is action. So execution is king. So it's really quite interesting. If you imagine, focus is like the lights in a room. Yeah. So you get these lights in a room, all these lights, you get these like photons, floating about. Now I can just push my hands through this and it does nothing. But if you take all of those and you condense them into one point, you can essentially cut through steel. Power focus. At the same time, if you think about action, every single thing we have in life right now is a result of somebody taking action. They had an idea, they got that clarity, they focused on it, they formulated it, they planned it, and then they took action. Us chatting on this computer right now through the screen, the chair that I'm sitting on, the house that you're in, come from people taking action. And I guess the problem I find with action is that we live in a world where we expect things so fast. Yep. Get me right. I think that, it's good to have high expectations, but I also think sometimes we have such high expectations, especially in relationships. And what happens is, as a result, we expect things to happen much faster than they can happen. Yep. And what happens then is we get, unmotivated or something like that. The key to success is continuing to take action. Because, if you reflect on your own life, and I reflect on my own as well, is life gives us obstacles.
Definitely.
And, if you're clear on what you want, if you're focusing on the outcome, then when you hit those obstacles, you recognize them as a sign that you're going somewhere.
Exactly.
And the goal is to keep going. So action is king, but consistent action is the real king. Because people get out there and they go, yes, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to feel great. And then a week later, they're going once a week now after going 3 days because they got sore, right? When you go to the gym, my muscles got sore. Yep. So that means I got to rest. Yeah. So, that consistent action mixed with having a clear mind, what you want, you get the focus and you're focusing on what you can achieve and the positive outcome versus because what people do is they focus on all the things that can go wrong. Yep. And when you're focusing on all the things that can go wrong, what happens is your mind just it becomes so stressful. So clear mind, clarity, focus on what you want to achieve, seeing the positive outcome, seeing what you need to do to make it happen, and then simply taking action. Like if you want to get a pay rise, ask people, what do I need to do to get a pay rise? If you don't know, you ask. Yep. Most people don't ask, they feel stupid.
Exactly.
Just ask. The only dumb question is when you don't ask. It's like, how do I get a pay rise? What do I need to do to get promoted? Excuse me, manager, I like working here. What can I do right now to prove to you that I should be promoted?
Yep.
And more often than not, they will tell you. Like I'd tell you, someone asked me that, I'd say, cool, do this, and this for 8 weeks. And you know what? Come talk to me and we'll look at promoting you.
Exactly, man.
So That's how it works. And if you're thinking about a career change or starting a business, then, that can be one of the hardest things that some people do. And if you go from like a 9-to-5 job and you've been working there for quite a time, and then you make the shift to being an entrepreneur or doing something that's your own business, it is one of the biggest shifts that you'll ever find, because you go from certainty and you know what's going on, and you step into unlimited variety. Like, you don't know what's happening. Yep. Am I supposed to know that I'm going to get like a massive clawback of $100,000 plus? It's completely unexpected, and it can rock you off your feet unless you've got clarity. You're focused on what you want to achieve, what you want to have, and you keep taking action. So I'd say they're my 3 tips for life.
That's awesome, man. And just touching on the second point as well, I always talk to my clients and say about treat yourself as a personal brand. So look at it like you would if you're starting a business. So you've got your own brand. Like iRecruit's got its own brand. Look at yourself as your own brand and work on your personal branding. As you said, I get a lot of my clients to use Google Alerts to look up what sort of negative stuff they've got coming up online regarding their profile or their online persona. And basically, like you said, you want to make yourself look as most professional and as brilliant brand as you can. And I get my clients to try and look at themselves as a valuable commodity as well. Try and get people, when they're going into interviews or things like that, look at yourself like you're a valuable commodity. And really, when you're going into those interviews, a lot of people don't understand, but it's such a simple thing. Businesses are just looking what return on investment they can get from hiring you. Will you fit in with the team, and will you add value to the team? And pretty much it. So, yeah.
We want a quality hire.
Exactly, man. So I think that's brilliant. That's really good advice, man. Thank you so much for that. So just next bit, we're just going to go into a bit of a lightning round. So pretty much just quick questions, which we're going to get responses from. So what is the best career advice you've ever heard, or if you personally received yourself?
This is a funny one, because I didn't really have too many people guiding me in life.
Yep.
I had to learn my own way through it. But as I think about it, I remember way back, gosh, I must have been 17. And I was in a bit of a pickle back then. But I remember getting some advice back then, and it was so simple. And, I took it how I took it. And for me, obviously, it impacted me how it did. But it was keep challenging yourself.
Yep.
Something so simple. And I guess for me, what it means is that you don't settle. It's like they say, you're either growing or you're dying.
Right? Yeah, dying. Yeah. Yep. True. True, man.
So it's like, I got that advice when I was younger. Keep challenging yourself, keep pushing yourself. Yeah. And I guess it kind of sunk in, because as I reflect over the last 7-8 years, I've not stopped pushing myself. We hit kind of complacency state. And most people in regards to fulfillment, feeling fulfilled is we feel fulfilled and we feel good progressing. As soon as things start to feel stagnant or like they're going backwards, that's when we start to get stressed out and feel like we're going down the toilet. So for me, the best advice I ever got was keep challenging yourself. Never settle for just what you've got. Keep pushing, do more, have more, be more, because the more you can service yourself and become better as a person, the more you can give and help other people.
Exactly, man. And I think that I'm just going to add on to that. I think that's awesome advice. And by backing that is knowing your why and having a strong enough why of why you're doing something in your career or in your business. So, for example, I always say to a lot of my clients, I say, it's all well and good you want to get in to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever you want. But and then I say, what's your reasons for wanting to do that? And they say, prestige and money. Okay, well, that's only going to take you so far in your career or in your business. If you're just doing something just for the cash and there's no other reason, obviously cash flow is king with business, but you've got to have a strong enough reason why you're pushing yourself and what's going to drive you when you hit all the shit in your business or in your career. So for me, as I said, my biggest thing is, when I reach tough times or things when I just go, fuck it, I've had enough. Knowing that I want the best for my family, and by me doing my business is going to help me achieve all the dreams that I want for us, and also to help people on a massive scale. That's exactly what I want. So that pushes me when I start to question myself. So yeah, I think that's great advice, man. And that's just the backing reason behind that. You definitely have to have a strong why behind you, why you're doing something. So just moving on to the next question. So say a miracle occurred and you could achieve anything at the click of your fingers. What would you want to achieve and why? It's a bit of a random one, but
yeah, and honestly, I think, and this links into my why. I think that's the reason why I'm about to tell you. For me, I think I would click my fingers and I would once again, this is because I like to help other people, but like I would like to like click my fingers and it's like Inception. Like it's like deep and powerful idea slip into people's consciousness, like slip deep into their minds. And the idea would be that no matter who you are, where you've been, what you've done, what color your skin is, any kind of that bullshit, no matter who you are, if you've got the right tools and strategies, then you can achieve anything you want in life.
Exactly.
And that comes from, from myself. Like I literally had nothing.
Yep.
And through actually just having that focus and desiring more and actually getting out there and doing it and actually, learning what I needed to learn. If I didn't learn a whole heap of stuff over the last 8 years, I wouldn't be here right now. Yep. So I truly do believe deep down that if you've got the right skills, if you've got the right tools, if you've got the right strategies, anything you want can be achieved and done with enough action and focus.
So true.
So I'd take that idea and then I'd light a little flame. I think I'd click my finger, I'd light a little flame and ignite their souls to actually want to get out there and achieve those dreams as well.
Nice.
So that's something I'll do. And why I'll do that is because I think we'd have a transformation all around the world.
Yep. That's brilliant, man. What an amazing response. I was completely visualizing that with all these people with a lit flame underneath and like, yeah, that's awesome, man.
Can you imagine waking up?
Oh.
Jeez, I said the best dream last night.
What was I thinking for the rest of my past? So just moving on to the next question. I guess this is kind of similar to what we've just been talking about. But do you honestly believe that you found your why in life and something that basically lights that fire in you? Do you feel like every day you wake up with that fire and desire to achieve more and get more in your life?
Honestly, my why, and it links directly to the last question, my why, I've been thinking about it obviously for a little while, but my why is exactly that. I think
Perfect.
That, I believe that there are no ineffective people. I think there are no stupid people. I know people do stupid shit,
yeah.
But I think there are no necessarily stupid or ineffective people. I think we do stupid and ineffective things, but that's a result of how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. Exactly. So I think that if we learn different ways of thinking, feeling, behaving, and doing things, that we can transform our lives. So we've got the right, as I said before, with the right skills, the right strategies, and the right tools, anything can be possible. And it's quite funny because I believe that our why manifests in things that we do.
Yep.
When I'm doing coaching and therapy, that's a manifestation of my why. Yep. I love to just meet with people and, meet them where they're at. And I've been through so much shit that I can coach with authenticity because I get it. No matter how fucked up your shit is, I get it.
Yep.
And I'm just looking at you dead in the eyes and like, look, let's fucking make this change.
Yep.
And at the same time, if I reflect now on iRecruit, it's exactly the same thing. It's a manifestation of my why. If people have the right tools and the right strategies, the right things in their hands, they can have anything they want.
Exactly.
And iRecruit, that's another manifestation of that exact same why. Because what it is, it's a tool for people to get the work they want and to hire the good staff that they need.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
That's perfect, man. That's brilliant. And saying about that, I feel exactly the same with my business. I mean, same thing with when you come to people, I feel like I can relate with genuine, authentic behavior because I've gone through my share of shit as well. Like all of us have. We've all gone through our own stories and struggles. And I feel like I can often relate to a lot what they've gone through because that's my whole reason of why I started my business. And a lot of them have said that to me. I feel like, really get to know me and you really know what I'm going through. And I said, no, I do because I've gone through that same bullshit. So I think that's so important with especially with a coaching business or something like that, or helping people and helping them push through their own limiting beliefs and stuff like that. So that's awesome, man. So just moving on to the next question, can you share one of your personal habits that you strongly believe contributes to your success? And also one that you feel you're in constant battle with. So obviously, the one that you feel is the biggest contributor to your success in your career and in your business, and also one that you feel really kind of stops you, or one that you just wish you could fuck off at times. So.
Okay, so the positive habit, which is massively apparent, is my love for learning.
Yeah,
that's literally. Gosh, seriously, if you ain't got Audible on your phones right now, you should download it and start listening to some books.
Oh, yeah.
And whatever you want to do, you listen to books in that field. I listen to so many books each week. I just download them, listen to them on 1.5, 2 times the speed, and just listening. I go to the gym, I'm listening, I'm driving, I'm listening. I'm always learning. It drives my partner crazy sometimes, but but I love to learn, and that's probably one of my most powerful habits that I actually do have. And when I don't feel like I'm learning new things, I feel a little bit like stagnant inside. So that's probably one of my really, really good habits that I've got. Yep. In regards to a constant battle with unproductive habits, gosh, can we put Game of Thrones in that box?
I think we can somehow. I think so. It definitely takes up a lot of people's time. So.
Oh man, I tell you what, like Game of Thrones. I cannot wait for the next season, but that's a pretty unproductive habit. I sit there and watch hours.
Nice, man. And I love the positive habit too. I'm exactly the same. I've just got like so fixated on learning, especially our business. For me, I just don't stop listening to podcasts. Every time I'm in the car, anywhere I am, at the gym, music doesn't really come into the equation anymore like it used to. It's now listening to podcasts, learning from them, implementing things. So, yeah, man, I think for all of the audience listening, I think listening to career podcasts or listening to things or reading books on career development, how to get the career you really want, or even giving me a call and working through some coaching as well. But just constant learning and evolving is the way that you can get to where you really want in your career. So yeah, that's brilliant advice, man. So touching on that, I guess we kind of did a little bit, but what book or resource do you really recommend to the audience that would really help them out, help fast track their career success, or potentially benefit them in a big way?
Okay. Well, there's lots of books you can listen to and read and all that kind of stuff, obviously. But I think, and I can't recall who the author is, but there's a book that I read when I was 20 that's about this thick. It's not very big, but it's called The Slight Edge.
Yep.
Have you read that one?
No, I haven't. I have to look into that one.
You should. So I like the slight Steve Olson, I think. Steve Olson.
Okay.
Don't quote me. Probably wrong, but I think it's Steve Olson, The Slight Edge. Something Olson. Anyway, The Slight Edge is essentially this whole idea that, it's easy to do and it's easy not to do.
Yep.
So it is easy to wake up early in the morning and have a positive morning habit. And it's also easy to sleep through right to the point you need to get ready and run out the door because you're running late. It's easy to eat the right kind of foods instead of having all those chips there with that burger. It's easy just to push them to the side and have a little bit. It's easy even if you have the burger, but at the same time, it's just as easy to do it.
Definitely.
So it's whole idea, getting this slight edge on yourself. It's about that incremental change. It's like literally you start here, your time actually going out, and it's like just taking those little tiny steps as you go out and you increase over time, it gets further out, further out, further out. And like it's that point where essentially like you just keep taking that positive step by step by step, your personal growth improves massively. So like you don't have to wake up one day and be an interview master.
Yep.
But you can do career podcasts and stuff like that, and you can learn, when you come in, make good eye contact, smile. Smiling is amazing. It adds value to your face, believe it or not. And you can learn that if I sit with my shoulders back and I breathe and I get a report the person that's interviewing me, that's probably going to help me get the job.
Yep.
But you don't have to be a master at it right away, but you can just go and learn to practice one thing at a time.
Yep.
And the thing, this whole slight edge theory is that like it's easy to do that, but it's also easy to not. And it's really about getting that slight edge on yourself. It's not about being perfect day dot. It's just about doing little things that are slightly better than yesterday, stacked upon each other, stacked upon each other, stacked upon each other. That way, when you look back over time, what you see is like, how you used to be to how you are now.
Yep.
So slight edge was a big thing for me because what it made me realize is that there's a lot of things that I was doing that it was just a habit. And when I became aware of it, I was like, Jesus, it's actually doing nothing for me.
Yep.
And it was really easy to stop doing it and replace it with a different habit.
Brilliant, man.
So I'd recommend that book massively.
Perfect. I would definitely put that link in the show notes to that book or to Audible link. I agree, man. Like progress is better than perfection. biggest advice I'd heard, which is so beneficial. People are trying to be perfect and try and get things, I've got to wait till the perfect time, I don't have enough money, or they come up with all these excuses, looking for this perfectionist outlook on life. Just take the step. Just take that first step. Start doing things that you really want. Like you said, that's such a beneficial thing. So thanks for that, man. Well, that's pretty much all the questions, man. I really appreciate you coming on, and it's awesome to talk to you, man. And I can't wait to see where iRecruit's going to go. And as I say, I love what you guys are doing. It's absolutely amazing. So I just want to welcome you to the Career Breakthrough Tribe, and thank you so much for adding value to my audience, mate. And where can we best contact you? What's the best way to get access to you or to iRecruit?
Yeah. So access to me, I'm simply at todd@irecruit.com.au. So shoot me an email. You can add me. I've got a Facebook page and stuff like that, Todd P. Add me on Facebook. Just drop me a line. Like, I'm always happy to answer questions and stuff like that. In regards to iRecruit, guys, got a few job seeker, jump on board. Right now, we're in our light version, and as I guess creators of something, we can never necessarily happy with what we've got, but like, it is really, really good. And as the job seeker, jump on board now, build your profile. What we've done is we wanted to create a place, just like Facebook, you've got your Facebook profile, and if you use LinkedIn, you've got a LinkedIn profile. We built iRecruit to be the place where you have a profile that is you, and you take that with you for the rest of your professional life. So, there might not be jobs on there right now for you, but over time, there's going to be businesses jumping on board, making positions for you to get matched to. So I just say get on board. Even if there's nothing there right now, jump on board, make a profile, because there will be people using it probably very soon. So get on board, and as you go through, update your profile as you go. Add skills, add experience, and adjust settings. Like, you can literally sit there and be either actively looking or passively looking. You could be inactive completely, where you don't appear anywhere. But at least you've got that profile there, which is your professional profile. So, yeah, that's what I'd say, dude.
And guys, I 100% back iRecruit. I beta tested it, and it is fucking amazing. It's really cool, really unique. It's definitely going to, like I said, revolutionize how everything's done and the way moving forward. So, yeah.
Mate, just wait till our next versions come out. Oh, it's going to look good.
But it's definitely worth jumping on board. But I'll link it all up to where you guys can download it in the iTunes store, or for your Google store, whatever that one is. I don't know that one. But so thanks so much again, Todd. And it's been awesome talking to you, and I'm sure you've added massive value to my audience. So thanks again, mate. And guys, jump on board, get in contact with Todd. Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, Paul.
I just wanted to thank you all for tuning into this episode. This episode is sponsored by Sky's the Limit Career Counselling and Main Training, who are providers of online career development and online training specialists. Sky's the Limit Career Counselling is a career counselling specialist, and right now these guys have got an amazing bundle of career development courses on special for you, just for the listeners of this podcast. So in this amazing bundle is 3 amazing courses. The first course in this bundle is Master a Killer Career Mindset, which is going to take you from feeble to formidable in your career and create an unstoppable, positive and driven mindset. The second course in here is Uncover Your True Career Wants and Career Needs, to help you get clarity in your career and understand what you're really about and what you want out of your career. The last one, guys, is Unleash Your Formidable Strengths and Skills. So this is where you're going to be finding out really about yourself, what makes you you, and what makes you stand out in your career. So for the listeners of this podcast, we've got an incredible special going on today. So these courses normally retail for $97 each. So normally $291 for all 3. We're going to sell these for $197. That's a saving of $94, guys. So if you click on the link below, guys, that'll take you to the link to the page. Thanks a lot, guys. I look forward to talking to you all next week and helping you with another amazing interview.